This is Living Power with Dan Hurst.
Then there was the tribe of Judah. Judah is a very interesting tribe because that's obviously where we get the lineage of David and the lineage of Jesus. And so he makes an interesting prophecy and an interesting statement about Judah, beginning with verse 8 in chapter 49. Judah, your brothers will praise you. Your hand will be on the neck of your enemies. Your father's sons will bow down to you. You are a lion's cub, O Judah. You return from the prey, my son. Like a lion, he crouches and lies down. Like a lioness, who dares to rouse him? The scepter will not depart from Judah, nor the ruler's staff from between his feet, until he comes to whom it belongs, and the obedience of the nations is his. He will tether his donkey to a vine, his colt to the choicest branch. He will wash his garments in wine, his robes the blood of grapes. His eyes will be darker than wine, his teeth whiter than milk. So we learned a lot about Judah in chapter 38 of Genesis. In fact, the whole chapter is pretty much dedicated to Judah and something that he did. Judah was kind of an odd duck in one sense of the word because he kind of marched to a whole different drummer. He was his own, he just did whatever he wanted to do. And he left the family and went to live in another village and set up his own lifestyle in this other town, and basically walked away from the family. But because, for some reason, because he's the second oldest, he gets the law of primogeniture, passes all of the blessing down to Judah. Now, so Reuben, it's taken away from Reuben and it's given to Judah. And so he receives this remarkable blessing. And in fact, verse 13 actually prophesies that out of Judah would come a Messiah. Now, it's not that way in the New International Version, but the Hebrew says, the scepter shall not depart from Judah until Shiloh comes. We say Shiloh, but it was pronounced Shiloh. And until Shiloh comes. And that's the actual wording in the Hebrew. And Shiloh was the ancient term for Messiah. So here we have Jacob prophesying that the Messiah would come from the lineage of Judah, which was a remarkable statement and amazing for them to hear such thing. Now, there is the question that probably people wonder why Judah would receive such a blessing when he was guilty of despising the family and going off. And the reason is, I think, a number of things. There's significant difference between Reuben and Judah. Even though Judah had left the family and was kind of wandered off on his own, we're never told that Reuben repented of his evil, the things that he did, in taking the concubine and flaunting it. Or that he ever changed his conduct. We're never told that. However, we're told about Judah something completely different. When he was faced with his sin, he confessed it. Toward the end of Genesis 38, you see that. He confesses his sin. He acknowledges that what he did was wrong. And Reuben's response to the distress in Egypt, for example, when they went down and there was this problem and there was famine and so forth and so on, and Joseph says, I want you to bring your son, your youngest brother, Benjamin, back, which was Joseph's blood brother. I want you to bring him back and eventually bring the father back. Reuben's response was to basically pass the buck, and so he tells his brothers, well, I told you so. I told you this, we were going to be in trouble, and I told you this is what was going to happen. And he just basically didn't really take any real authority or any sign of being the number one brother. Judah, on the other hand, took full responsibility for the safety of Benjamin. In chapter 43, he's the one that says, look, Dad, if you'll let us take Benjamin, you can have my sons. I'll be the one that is responsible. I'll take my life, but I'll be responsible for Benjamin. And in fact, he offers himself as a hostage in place of his youngest brother also. So Judah was the one who took on the role of being the significant brother over Reuben.